in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we play our way. This is how to play House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. Iconic classic rock song. So just to, first and foremost, I'm going to list the chords. There's 5 major chords and there's a few 7th chords that are optional for those of you who are beyond the beginner phase. So if you're in the beginner phase, the 5 chords are an A minor, a C major, a D major, an F major, and an E major. If you're an intermediate player or if you're a beginner trying to transition to being a better guitar player and have more of that bluesy feel, there's also an E7 chord and an F7 chord, which I'll explain when we get there. So to start off, there's 5 chords the entire song. They're the exact same rhythm pattern the entire way. It's just the order in which the chords are played are repeated the same way, but they're played in different orders throughout the song. So I'll explain. To start off, you have an A minor. So you're gonna have a muted low E string. So again, we're in standard tuning, so muted low E string, don't play the 6th string. You have an open A string. You have your middle finger on the 2nd of the D. You have your ring finger on the 2nd of the G. And you have your index finger on the 1st of the B. And then you have an open high E string. So you play the bottom 5 strings. So for those trying to get a close-up, here you go. That's what the A minor looks like. 1, 2, and 3. So we play that chord. And the rhythm pattern for this song is you strum the root notes. In this case, it'd be the open A for the A minor. And then you strum down. And then you do up strums on the bottom 3 strings. So you do. So slowly, one more time. Let me get it closer for you guys. A little faster. Full speed. And you have that same strumming pattern or picking pattern throughout the entire song for every chord, and it does not change. So that's once you have that picking pattern down, the rest of the song should be a little easier, just remembering the chord shapes. So that's your A minor. Now we have a C major chord. A C major chord is going to be a muted low E string, so the 6th string isn't played. You have your ring finger on the 3rd of the A. You have your middle finger on the 2nd of the D. Then you have your index finger on the 1st of the B. Then you have an open G and high E string. So you play the bottom 5 strings again. Again, same pattern. So for a close-up, that's how you play a C chord. Move my fingers. So from the top, you have an A minor, C major. One more time. Now full speed. Then we have a D major chord. Play a D major, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have a muted low E and A string, so the top 2 strings are muted. You have an open D string, and you have your index finger on the 2nd of the G, your ring finger on the 3rd of the B, and your middle on the 2nd of the high E. So open, 2, 3, 2, to the bottom 4 strings. So for the close-up, here you go. How to play a D chord. So from the very top, you have an A minor, C major, D major. One more time, full speed. And then to finish off this part of the beginning part of the intro, you have an F chord. Now there's 2 ways to play it, or 3 ways. I'm gonna show you 3 ways to play it. So for this song, you can play the full bar, so it'd be a full bar on the 1st fret. Then you have your ring and pinky finger on the 3rd of the A and the D. You have your middle on the 2nd of the G. So it'd be like this. If you can't do a full bar yet, I recommend you, as a beginner, you can play you put your ringing pinky and middle finger where they're supposed to be, right? So you have the 3, 3, 2, and you, with your index finger, you're gonna do a mini bar to get some practice for a bar chord. Do a mini bar and only press down the B and high E of the first fret, and don't press down the low E, and just strum from the 5th string down. And it sounds close enough to get you to the song. So it's up to you. Now the third way would be, that's just optional, is if you have big enough hands, you put your thumb over the first string, or the low E of the first fret. It's up to you. I personally don't think that the first string is necessary for this song because of the tone, but it's, again, completely up to you. I know when I play it this way, I actually don't do the full bar. I play it the second way I showed you. If you go back to the intro, you'll see that I'm not playing the bar. So it's optional, it's up to you. Again, this is why the motto of the channel is where we play our way, because you play it however you want, or however you feel. So then you have an A, so from the very top, you have an A minor, C major, D major, F major. One more time, full speed. So this, again, closer for you guys for the F chord. That's what it looks like. So one more time from the top, full speed. And now the 5th chord we're going to learn is an E major chord. So to play the E major chord, this is the second half of the intro, the very ending. So to play an E major chord, you're going to have an open low E string. You're going to have your middle finger on the 2nd of the A, your ring finger on the 2nd of the D, and your index finger on the 1st of the G. And then you have an open B and high E string. So again, to play the E chord, we make this shape. So you have your open, open, 2, 2, 1, open, open. And the ending of the intro, so after you do the A minor, C, D, and F chord, you have an A minor, an E chord, A minor, and E chord. So you have, it would sound like this. The second half of the intro would sound like this. So again, to play the same picking pattern. That's E chord. Now from the very top, putting the entire intro together. So from the very top. So that same pattern is repeated throughout the entire song for all the verses, even the solo. Now, when you get to the solo, and rather than, you can either keep playing that same picking pattern, or, I mean, it's an organ in the song, right? But another alternative that I use is, rather than picking, I just start strumming and pick up my strumming. So let me give you an example. So I'll do something like this. Then it starts going into, well, my mother was a tailor. She sewed my new jeans. Again, you don't have to play it that way. That's an example, just so you guys can have a reference point on where to go this way or that way. So it's up to you. So then I mentioned earlier at the beginning that there's 2 alternative chords, so you can play the E7 and an F7. So there's, put it this way, so at the very end of the song, so when you start saying, so where there is a house in New Orleans, into the end of the song, the solo, right? So, or the outro. So to play that, you play the same repetition the same rhythm pattern, the same I guess chord progression. The only difference is that when you play the F chord, you replace it with an F7, or when you play an E chord, you play with an E7. So to play an F7, what you do is you have your normal F chord, right? The only difference is you're removing the pinky. That's it. You're just lifting up the pinky. So it would sound something like this. Now the tab will be on the screen for every chord that I teach you guys. So that's an F7. So again, let me do that one more time. So again, you have your normal F chord, right? All you do is lift up that pinky and it's gone. Now to play an E7, it's the same thing as an E major chord, right? It's the exact same thing. So this is my E major, all 6 strings, right? The only difference with an E7 is that you're lifting up your ring finger. So now it's just my index and middle finger pressing down strings. So again, completely optional. For the outro, that's what I like to use, the E7 and the F7. It's completely up to you. If you can't do that, if you're not at that level or that step yet, or at that point in your guitar career, I guess you could say, then stick with the F major and the E major and just finish up the song. So again, guys, this is a tutorial for House of the Rising Sun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a classic song. There's multiple tutorials out there. I'm just putting out my version of it, how I play it whenever I play it out in public. So anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have a song that you guys, song suggestion, please leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to reply and get to it. And yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.